Welcome back to week number 10 of the LCS, and it's time for Dignitas to take on Vulcan. Bloodwater and the crew can earn a playoff spot with a win. They can guarantee themselves top 6, but Dignitas needs a victory of their own to keep their dreams alive for a top 2 finish. Now, even though Dignitas has the edge in the season series, the last time they met, it was Vulcan who came out on top.
Especially Zuna. He came up really big in that week 5 win. He was 10-2-10 as Tristana. But yesterday, we saw Dig going back to their comfort champions, and it really worked out for them. They've unveiled this new strategy Crumbs was talking about where they don't die before 3 minutes. Secret, high-tech strategy worked out very well.
It did seem to go very well for them. So let's check out the starting lineups for these teams. On the blue side, it is Team Dignitas. Kiwi Kid in the top lane, Crumbs in the jungle, Skara in mid, I'm a Cutie Pie, the AD carry, and Patoy on support.
And on the red team, we have Psycho Sid up top, Smithy in the jungle, Mandatory Cloud at middle, Zuna on AD, and Bloodwater supporting.
All right, so we get ourselves to this game. We have all 10 players in the lobby, and let's break it down. What's going to go on for these guys? Because you've got what I feel like are sort of a mix of styles where Crumbs is hyper-aggressive and Vulcan, they kind of just like late game it seems.
Well, Crumbs definitely plays the game as the team feeds information to him, so he's a very dynamic jungler, whereas Smithy has just really been camping one lane. He concentrates most of his ganks on the same lane to keep that person really far down. It'll be interesting who they target on Dignitas. Do they go after that Kiwi Kid, or do they try and get I'm a Cutie Pie on tilt? Because I'm a Cutie Pie will pull out some crazy plays if you switch things up early.
That could be interesting, and of course we look at Dignitas as well, and they pull out a lot of crazy stuff. I think they're the team that lane swaps kind of the most. They 2v1 mid more than I can remember any other team doing.
It's pretty much their standard layout here. They almost always go with the AD and support in the middle so that they get a lot of pressure there. They haven't run teleport on Patoy in a while, but they do definitely like that mobility. We saw them the last game, though. They just pulled out a completely new strategy, really. They relied on kiting. It was some different champions. Scar going outside of that champion pool. So we don't know if Vulcan will try and ban out Scar again like people have been doing yesterday. And meanwhile, Vulcan, again, they showed something new, too. Versus CLG, they didn't ban or pick Nidalee, and that was really surprising.
It was interesting because you actually heard in the interview with Link and Hotshot, he's like, no, Link just said for sure, is like, I did the scouting, they're not going to go Nidalee, it's no big deal, we don't have to worry about it. And he was right. So, you know, some of these guys can scout really, really well and know what champions are actually available in their champion roster and which ones aren't even going to get picked up.
That was a really surprising one, too, because Mandatory Cloud has such a good record on that Nidalee. It just seems like that would be a go-to pick for him, but you're right. Link knows best, and they did not choose him.
And actually, speaking of ManCloud, though, he's been rocking Rise a heck of a lot recently. There was the one game where he teleported in for a triple kill. That was against Marn, you know, in I think like their first game of the day, first or second. And then you saw them kind of try again against CLG, and he had much less favorable results on Rise that time.
Yeah, I mean, the rise of Rise has been brought about by all the mana items that have really become popular. The Seraph's Embrace is probably one of the most important. You get so much ability power from mana, which Rise already gets damage from, so you're kind of really just getting 2 for 1 right there, and his damage just goes extremely high.
So that is going to be an interesting pick. We'll see if Dignitas will let him get that. Of course, these mid laners seem to be at least a little bit predictable, and we are now into champion select, so let's see what these guys go for. Dignitas on the blue side, they've banned out Jarvan right off the bat.
So that's going to put a little bit of a kink into Smithy's plans. He does like that Jarvan. It's a really good champion for camping lanes because he has so many options of sneaking into bushes and getting past wards. But the ban's coming out so fast from Dignitas here, nothing that they weren't expecting.
I've seen Diana and Caitlyn banned so many times against Dignitas, really. They put up Shen as well, so only one ban was actually sent towards Skara here.
It seems like they might even be trying to bait Cutie Pie into that Draven pick because they want to prey on his aggressive style. He goes Draven, and he just does not back down from his lane. He'll stay in there, he'll fight whoever comes, and that's something that you can actually prey on very easily if you do have a camp-style jungler like Smithy. You just keep on returning to that lane over and over, and you can punish the aggression. That's really inherent in Draven players.
Yeah, but it's so fun, of course. I started playing Draven recently myself, and you just run at people, and if no one stops you, just keep running, and axes land on them, and they die, and you catch them, and you feel great. And I can't blame Cutie Pie for liking that champion. I really can't. But Dignitas here, they are still contemplating that first pick. And they do have that Draven. You mentioned it, right? That might be the bait. Dignitas have, I mean, really, they have pretty much almost anything they want here.
Kiwi there, his head cocked to the side. They're definitely taking this one till the wire, and they lock in the Renekton for him.
Okay, so they've locked Renekton top. It's going to be, we've actually heard it being said that that is the, like, you can safe pick it. You can first pick a top laner, and you don't really care too much. I think Jat said you have to be this tall. Was it you or Jat?
That was someone in live design, and then Jat, pulled it out. That was a really, really good quote. I forget who it is. I would love to give them credit, but I can't.
All right, well, Smithy here with the lore-based counter pick, picking up Nasus potentially against that Renekton. Psycho said looking at Sona. They've locked that support in, and they've got 25 seconds left to make up their mind. They do, in fact, want Nasus for Smithy.
Nasus is just as tall as Renekton there, so when they both pop their ultimates, they can go toe-to-toe. And right now, these teams are looking very balanced. All we have is the showing the Sona very early. I mean, usually we see that when Thresh is banned, and then the sort of the third pick support there is usually Lulu. I mean, those are like the top three that have kind of been circling around, being picked over and over as the Sona Thresh Lulu combo. But meanwhile, Patoy, I mean, he's just this versatile, aggressive support player. You never know when he can just pull out that Zyra or that Elise support. And both of those he's actually used very effectively. So he's got plenty of options left for him.
Well, they look at Draven and Volibear. They've grabbed them.
Crumbs, he just said he was a really big fan of the Volibear too. He, even after the reduction in speed from Rolling Thunder, since Crumbs always runs Ghost on his Volibear, it's not that big of a deal. He loves just using that Ghost with the Rolling Thunder combo for a lane gank, and that's a really, really effective early lane gank. We saw him use it before when Kiwi Kid was on that Singe, so they could just throw each other over the back there with the double flips. And he does switch his summoners. It's not going to be Flash this time, correct? It will be Ghost.
He actually said Flash was a terrible idea, so looks like he's not kind of contradicting himself so far just yet. Vulcan looking at their picks, only 15 seconds left to go. Zuna could be looking at another Tristana grab. We've seen here, I think, more, like we see her like in spurts, like she'll get picked 3 times in a week and then not for 3 weeks and 3 times in a week again. I think
Zuna is definitely the one to lock that one in. He's not much for trolling. Everybody knows he loves Tristana, and that's really fits his team's playstyle where they like to go late game. Malphite also fits into that meta where you want the very hard initiate for late game. If you want to get a team fight, you can get it when you have Malphite.
And that will be a fun thing for Vulcan here in their lineup. 36 seconds to go for Dignitas to make their final choice. They've shown their top lane, their jungler, their AD carry. Actually, Vulcan have hid their mid laner here from ManCloud, and so Dignitas will have to make their choice here.
It's probably not going to be Quinn. We've seen, I think it was Vulcan actually who pulled out Quinn themselves on the first week that she was available. Tried to pull off that Chinese strategy where they roam from middle very quickly and pull off kills in the side lane, but didn't quite work out for them. Skara, I mean, people who watch his streams would be really happy if he had stayed on that cat a little bit longer because it's a very exciting champion, but he's really just rotating through all the AP mids to give people a show and locks in Big Daddy Graggy.
So Big Daddy Gragas indeed, and Patoy is on the Alistar. One of the only supports I've actually seen really play him much. Like him and MIA are the ones I can remember running Alistar a whole heck of a lot. But there is a Dignitas lineup. Vulcan, they need a mid laner.
Yeah, too bad they don't have Muffin QT anymore because he was a really big Alistar player, especially back in the day. That was his main, and he knows all the mechanics that go with that. Since they've locked in Sona already, they can't pick up something like that Janna we saw last game, which is a really good counter to Alistar.
Janna, dude.
I mean, you can, you can just knock up Alistar as he comes in for the headbutt and really negate all of the pressure that he puts out. It's such a great combo with PewDiePie though. That Patoy really runs the bodyguard support style where he's can both set up kills for PewDiePie to keep people there, but when PewDiePie just goes ham, he can also get people away from him.
So 4 seconds to go. Vulcan still making up their minds. Is it going to be another Rise? Ooh, it's a Cassiopeia picked up here for ManCloud, and this is a pretty big must-win for them.
This is Mandatory Cloud's most famous character from about a year ago. Back in the day when I was casting solo mid tournaments, we would see it from him all the time, and I would love it because he was this Cassiopeia player that would be extremely aggressive early, what you like to see from her because she's so great at kiting, but then when he would inevitably get ganked by the enemy's jungler, he would be able to turn it around for a kill for himself about 80% of the time. So
wow.
he's a very dangerous Cassiopeia player, especially early game. Even if they do send Crumbs over there to help Scar, they're going to have to play that gank very carefully because she can kite you for a while, and because all her damage is damage over time in these poisons, it'll sneak up on you. He saves his Ignite for late, and then he busts you with a Twin Fang, and it can burst you down, catch you off guard.
Well, that could be very, very interesting to see how that pans out. Again, we've mentioned it, Crumbs, a very aggressive jungler. He makes a lot of plays, so we'll see what ManCloud can do about this. Once again, guys, Dignitas needs to go 2-0 today to make their way into the top 2 and tie Curse. They've got to get the win here. They've got to get their win against TSM tonight. Now, on Vulcan's side, though, all they really need to do is find a win somewhere to guarantee their playoff spot. If they can't, if they go 0-2, they've got a chance of dropping down as well and actually being not in the playoffs themselves. So really important win here on both sides to keep their dreams where they want them. They've got to get some wins right here.
I think what's also really important is where these lanes match up, because Cassiopeia is great in the 1v1, but in the long lanes, it's extremely dangerous for her because she has very low base stats and she can be ganked extremely easily. In one of the side lanes. Mandatory Cloud's great, and he's really at home with her in the mid lane for turning around those ganks. But if they do force him over to the side, as Dignitas are one to do with their AD and supports going middle, then it could turn bad.
We'll see if this water does turn bad, because right now they're moving about the map. We can see that Vulcan have split themselves up a fair bit, and so has Dignitas. You can see Dig in the blue trunks here. Patoy leading the charge as Alistair, Kiwi Kid up behind him. And it looks like they're starting with a standard lane setup. Yeah,
both teams look like they're doing the standard here. Purple switching up their AD and support top so they can get the double golems. And we might have one of those turret races for the bottom and top turrets. Mandatory Cloud going to help out here for the blue side start on Smithy. And now we have Dignitas. They're pulling a few little groupings here, but it's not too sneaky because they are sitting on top of that ward. And
they don't know about
Vulcan are definitely privy.
Yeah, that's the thing. They don't know that that ward had went down. Psycho Sid ran down to that lower tri-brush, popped it over the wall. Guys, I know a lot of players will actually sit there in a single-player game and practice wall wards for like hours at a time. Bishu, the solo Unity player, will literally jump walls for an hour to practice them, and these guys make sure they got their mechanics down. So no invade for Dignitas. They actually just back off that one, though. They don't go for anything from here. And again, Vulcan knows about Dignitas backing off, so their jungle is safe. Let's see what these level 1s end up being.
I wonder if Skara took part in those training sessions with Bishu, because there's a couple YouTube videos out there that show it's not that easy placing him over some of the walls, and he could use a little practice with it.
All right, so we can see kind of the recap of where everyone is going. ManCloud and Psycho Sid doing a whole bunch. Actually, they're going to be duoing their golem buff here. So we saw that actually, I believe, in Marn vs. CLG, where they two-manned one and they took the other one. Right off the bat, this blue is going to go to one of these people. You can see Scar's already run to the mid lane, and Patoy and Crumbs are getting an easy start on their own Lizard camp.
Interesting to see who this blue buff is going to go to. It will be Cassiopeia. He also tanked it, so that he had to burn a lot of his early pots on that. It's not going to be that big of a deal since he did start with an all potion plus ward opener right here. And we have Cassiopeia with blue buff, amazing early game because of that passive. You can stack it up to 5 times, reducing the mana cost of your spells by 10% each stack. And with the blue buff, that means you can basically spam your poison on cooldown and get so much early harass. Mandatory Cloud got his 1v1 matchup in the middle that he wanted.
We'll see how that ends up panning out now as Patoy and Hudipar are zoning away Psycho Sid. So the 2v1s have happened here, with Vulcan forcing their Malphite down in the 1v2. But of course, they're going to be kind of ganging up onto Kiwi Kid at the top half, and that could be good for one side.
Crumb's really known for his lane ganks, and he's already headed up to this duo lane. So we'll have to see if Kiwi Kid actually builds up enough rage right here and then gets a stun off. We could have the ghost gank from Crumbs.
It's potential, of course. We can see as Zuna and Bloodwater keep putting damage down onto Kiwi Kid, actually. They're getting that Redux a little bit low. He's got potions and a Redux are available, and the minion wave's getting closer on up. It's actually frozen right in front of the turret. They're still finding ways to damage his poor Crocodile. And they seem to be kind of wasting Crumbs' time. They push slowly enough. He's got to wait another minion wave here as it stacks on up.
Yeah, and that's going to be a lot of damage too, just from the minions. You can get aggro from the minions when you do attack Zuna or Bloodwater. Kiwi Kid has a red pot though, he's going for it.
He flashes, lands the 3, a 1.5 second stun. Bloodwater trying to run away. Kiwi Kid, Zuna flashing away, trying to get out of this one. No, there's a fling on a Bloodwater. First blood picked up. Looks like Crumbs did not waste his time. 400 gold Dignitas.
Exactly what we saw yesterday. Crumbs loves those lane ganks. That's why he takes Ghosts. It just paid off beautifully right there. Red buff flash stun charge up there from Renekton. Oh, they're actually going to pressure Zuna as well.
He's taking a bit of pain right there. He's going to land a little bit of a stun there from Kiwi Kid, but does make his way out of that one. Not too terrible now for Zuna. However, he's still stuck in a kind of a 1v2 of his own.
Another thing that Crumbs did just to set that up and make sure that he wasn't seen by any wards in the blue side jungle. So you can see that Vulcan ward that's a little bit farther down from the blue buff. He came through the lane. He recalled and walked all the way back from Fountain straight up their own lane, so he knew he wasn't walking through a ward. Now they shove the lane so that they can get Zuna to miss out on as much farm as possible as Smithy comes to defend it.
Looks like he's going to get a little bit of gold from this defensive effort, though, as the turret will stay alive. But to recap sort of turret health, the bottom lane actually is getting a bit of pressure here from Dignitas. And you can see there, as Psycho Sid is not the happiest camper. At least he does have 17 minions, though he's holding on more or less.
Yeah, and he's got a bunch of potions, too. Malphite, not really one for setting up the ganks in his lane until he's 6, but he can definitely soak up the damage like no other.
In the mid lane, though, we're seeing a different sort of matchup as Scar is being pushed on by ManCloud over and over again, which is a 20 to 36 minion kill difference. So the early blue buff to ManCloud certainly has paid off right here. We'll see now what Vulcan can do off this advantage.
Yeah, he definitely made use of that, spamming his spells and keeping his stack. It looks like Crumbs just on the outside. That ward doesn't see him quite yet in the tri-bush.
I don't think it would. He's just camping right behind the wall. Psycho Sid does not know about this. He's only halfway to level 6, so no ult for him. Does have flash and teleport. Here comes Cutie Pie and Patoy, and he's going through. Psycho Sid, can he run away in time? The pulverize is going to be there. The headbutt into the wall almost certainly as well. Patoy pulls a little bit of turret aggro. There's a damage on the Sid. Headbutts him into the wall. Indeed, exhaust onto Sid. He's going to move forward towards Crumbs. Can Smithy turn this around? Cutie Pie is in there taking a bit of damage. Smithy, can he get it? Can he? No, he's now stuck underneath his own turret, and here comes the rest of Vulcan. Pulverize into the air, headbutt as well. That is a kill picked up. 2 for 0, 3 for 0 overall for Dignitas.
Mantor Cloud was making his way down the river, but everyone's dead for his team already. No point going down there now. He returns to his mid lane. That's going to be a free turret here down in the bottom. Excellent
play by Dignitas. So that strategy of don't die before 3 minutes maybe could have been applied to Vulcan here, as Dignitas have made a lot of really good early moves. Again, 1 turret to 0, 3 kills to nothing. The only lane winning for Vulcan is that mid lane.
And it's all because of Crumbs. I talked about why he doesn't like Nasus as a jungler, the early game aggression. He has made a point right here by speaking with his ganks. The early game aggression is extremely powerful. He used the Ghost, he used the Volibear, and he got 3 kills from it. Also getting the first turret, now answered by Vulcan.
So at least they have equalized turrets here, but the remnants of those kill leads still kind of really standing strong as Dignitas are up 1,000. Crumbs waiting for another lane gank down here. His Ghost up in the very, very near future. Only 5 seconds to go on that one. Bloodwater is not 6, nor Zuna. And they're actually pretty far from that measure, so if Kiwi Kid can find something, he might turn that into a kill. Will Zuna run on forward? He goes in for it. Does not actually go for the stun.
He also has a defensive ward of his own, but you still have to be careful about overextending. There is a Smithy there that's working on his red buff. So if they have a 3 versus 1, then it could be dangerous. Seems like Dignitas, though, they're going to shove all their pressure here to the middle and try and pressure Mandatory Cloud.
See if he can, in fact, get pushed out. There we go, the Ghost Volibear. Crumb's going to go in for the flip. He's going to pull him back in towards Scar. Here comes the barrels. ManCloud, can he ult anyone? Knocked into the air. That is 1 kill picked up, and now Sid's going to find a return. Can they get anything else now? Patoy flashes out. Cutie Pie, is he going to be under pressure? Looks like not so much. 1 for 1. ManCloud goes down without getting to ult.
Little bit messy there for Dignitas. They traded 1 for 1 and lost out on summoners too. But it wasn't too bad of a trade. Scar tried to get the blue buff after it. He's going to have to leave that one as well. Cutie Pie not enough to back him up.
The good defensive ward definitely keeps him in good shape. But Azuna in the top lane, in a bit of a rough spot against Kiwi Kid. They're trading blows back and forth. I'm not quite sure he's going to win that one a heads up, but I don't know if anyone really is looking to fight that right now.
Kiwi Kid's also put a lot of money into wards here. You can see he's got pink and green wards at his disposal. He does not want to fall to any of those ganks. Now that his turret is down, he's going to create a defense grid of vision instead.
And that looks like it's going to be pretty good for him as he just keeps farming up without much interference. Skara starts up on his blue buff, does not have anyone to stop him as well. So Dignitas, they are safe on their own side of the map right here. This double to runs brings Skara taking that one down. On the other side, we see Mandatory Cloud has grabbed his own golem buff. So no major moves now on the jungle. Dragon is available. 9 minutes in, the team fight phase is starting to begin. Who wins a 5-on-5 here?
Well, Smithy's got control of the Dragon because he is Nasus. The only thing is, Dignitas are so far ahead that it would be very scary for Smithy to go for that without knowledge that there's no vision for Dignitas. So unless there's a pink ward down there, I don't think anybody's going to try and sneak it without landing a kill first. Meanwhile, in the middle, Mandatory Cloud done a great job of making use of these blue buffs that he's been fed. He's ahead of Skara. He's got the early tier, which is really important for Cassiopeia so that you can keep spamming your spells and get your passive up. But he goes for a Rylai's right after that to get the slow, which combos so well with her kit. And it's going to be Dignitas, because of the numbers advantage, that they're going to get a free dragon off this.
And you can see them actually piling in toward the Dragon Pit. ManCloud trying to push away onto Skara, but look at that. The damage is coming through. Cutie Pie Spinning Axe is making a whole bunch of work out of that one. Crumbs takes a bite out of crime as the Dragon goes down.
That's going to be some free global gold for them. Very happy to take that one and back off. Not much pressure gained by Vulcan up there in that top lane. They had Zuna and both up there, but they just got a little bit more farm for Zuna out of it.
Indeed, they really did. Zuna actually has caught up in minions with Cutie Pie, but he is still down 3 kills. In fact, if you want to look at the individual gold marks, you can see who's just doing the most crushing. And look at that, 4,000 gold, richest man on the Rift. That is going to be I'm a Cutie Pie. So very, very good opening for Draven.
Yeah, he's been collecting heads, and it rewarded him with a Bloodthirster very early. One of the most important items for Draven, because Cutie Pie likes to go in that man mode style where he does not back away and he'll fight all oncumbers. Lifesteal's so important right there.
And so instead we can see where everyone else are moving around. Who's going to try to catch up? Vulcan, 1,500, 1,700 really gold down. Of course, we've seen leads bigger than that get thrown away, so can't count anyone out just yet, but Dignitas right now in a slightly looking to hold on to a top 2 finish if things go their way. I'm a Cutie Pie in a 1-on-2 and being fearless as a result. Skara, nice pick up there with a barrel, takes away the big Wraith. And ManCloud, both these guys with blue buffs, they're just trading again, farm in this mid lane.
Cutie Pie is up to 21% lifesteal now as he stacks up his Bloodthirster plus the Quince that he runs. So he's going to gain over 1/5 of his damage back in life every time he hits, and those spinning axes do get increased. So it's going to be a lot right there, a lot of pressure, and they're going to try and put it onto this turret as Crumbs has just been waiting in the side bush. They've seen Patoy, they know he's there, but they're not sure about the bear.
Well, he did lurk around in the shadows, but they're not going to turn this one around just yet. Bloodwater, of course, does have Crescendo in this fight. I'm a Cutie Pie one-shotting ranged minions, though. They're going to be back onto this turret in no time flat. Vulcan won't even try to look at Cutie Pie's face right here. They do not want to battle.
Smithy does come in to help try and clear out this wave. Even though Crumbs is there, he'll probably turn around as soon as they see Nasus. Just some free damage on the turret.
They do get a little bit of pain there. It's down to about 1/3 health right here, so certainly, I gotta say, a good early start here for Dignitas. They're winning in gold, they're winning in dragons, they're winning in kills, so Dignitas still looking very good. What do Vulcan need to do to turn this around and start winning for themselves?
Well, Mandatory Cloud's going with an extended teamfight build here, since he's going to try, after his tier stacks up, to finish up his Rylai. Zuna going in onto Cutie Pie, though, after the turret's already down, and they continue this chase.
They don't quite land the rocket jump slow, but it's looking for Crumbs right now with the Wither. Here comes Psycho Sid as well, and look at Crumbs. He runs the other way to keep his team alive. He knows he's going down, buys time. What a selfless act here. Actually, Crumbs, he's running, but I don't know if he's really getting away. Going to run into his natural habitat of the brush in this forest, but I think that's still going to be a kill picked up. Zuna pops his ult to make sure. Crumbs actually ulted to try to deal some damage back, but does not matter.
Yeah, he used his Ghost, too, to try and delay the rest of the team so that Scar could get pressure middle and go for Sid here. So he's rewarded with the flash of Sid, sort of a delayed exchange right there.
Interesting pickup, but of course Dignitas now very strong in this mid lane, are looking to keep the pressure on this turret down very, very low on health. Will they go in? The flash crescendo goes up. PewDiePie's going to cleanse it. Here comes Psycho Sid. They put on so much pain. Who's going to go down first? Kiwi get in the middle of everyone. Barrel's coming across as well, but he's trying to run away. PewDiePie now in the mix, but no one's going to land any more CC, and Dignitas gets out of that fight, burning a lot of ults.
PewDiePie just scaring everyone off. The damage output too much for them to chase, but that was a well-executed CC combo by Vulcan. You can see exactly what they're looking for with the crescendo on top of Malphite ultimate. Those are kind of interchangeable. Whichever one is in the better position goes first, but Patoy answers.
Patoy, we've got a giant knockup. Smithy's going to go down for free right there, and now Crumbs is in front. Can they get the counterattack damage? His passive still down. They do find one to fire back. Both teams lose a jungler, 5-3. The game's still 3,000 gold apart.
Crumbs got a little bit too far out after that one, but you could see the play by Patoy. He's got sort of a ghetto-rigged Malphite ultimate of his own there, landing the combo perfectly. Got 3 people in that one, and it was enough to grab a kill for themselves. And after that, they can just pressure the free turret there. Only a little bit more damage. They had to clear that one. The big thing here is blue buff off of Cassiopeia. That's going to be extremely big deal because the only mana item he went with was that tier. Going for a Rylai's second means he's going for more utility and chase in that extended team fight.
And right now, Mandatory Cloud is only going to rely on his own mana reserves. Dignitas have been in control of the map. You called out that blue steal. You called out the difficulty there for Cassiopeia. Skara going to have his own blue buff, though, very securely. Crumbs pushing out the top lane. And I want to point something out, though. Crumbs only has 36 minion kills here. He's been spending the entire game ganking for his lanes, giving them kills, giving them turrets. And it's an interesting sort of style difference between Xmithie, who's been farming a bit more.
Yeah, Crumbs definitely liked the early aggression that paid off well, but then some of his later ones backfired right there. He's died a couple times, and the seconds that you waste in the death chamber there actually do add up as well. So he's had less time to farm up his jungle, and Nasa's just slowly pulling ahead a little bit in the numbers.
Okay, so now comes the next big objective, which is Dragon in 13 seconds. Right now, the pink ward is there for Vulcan. As you saw last time, though, Dignitas did win the Dragon. Can Vulcan take this one back?
So Vulcan are happy to fight the next one there. That's why they want to get their vision in place, and they need Zuna to come down. If Zuna's going to be in that top lane, they probably don't want to go for this because even though they have all their ultimates up, you saw right what happens if they land the CC chain, but they don't have damage to back it up. So this time they're going to land the exact same CC chain, except have Zuna firing from the back line and kill their target.
We'll see if they can kill anything off. Dignitas are grouping up. They've got some pink wards of their own. You can see as wards come down, they spot out Crumbs. Xmithie is there. All 5 members of Vulcan are around. They're looking for a little bit of damage there. Xmithie takes a spinning axe to the back, though. Loses about a quarter of his health from one basic attack there from PewDiePie. That is a rough thing to deal with.
PewDiePie has got that early last whisper, so he's already got armor penetration specifically targeted for that Malphite there, because Malphite, one of the earliest characters in the entire league that builds a lot of armor. It's going to help PewDiePie attack any target that's close to him, really. He wants to be able to take down whatever's by him and destroy this front line of Vulcan. It's a very important combo for him to have.
Oof, a whole bunch of damages came through from the Gragas barrel, though, hitting 4 members of Vulcan. And they back out just from a Q from Skara. And it is Dignitas with ward coverage over Dragon. But they see the mid lane under pressure. They're going to rotate over for that. Turret down dangerously low. Can the damage be dealt right here? Wave clear comes out. There's Zuna for the attacks. They do find a turret kill. Nicely maneuvered here by Vulcan. But Dignitas are pushing up this right-hand side lane very, very quickly with Crumbs and PewDiePie. This turret likely to fall very, very fast.
Vulcan would be very happy to catch someone out here. You can see they're trying to pull a pincer movement here where Psycho Sid teleports up to the turret and the rest of the team swings down to try and cut off PewDiePie.
And there we go, the rocket jump coming up from Zuna. They look for PewDiePie. Crumbs with a bunch of damage. Zuna has to pop the shield, but he's going to survive. Now Crumbs in the middle of everyone. Crescendo comes across, finds a lot. 2 kills now picked up. Kiwi in the middle. Mancloud with the Rylai's is taking it up, but the ult comes across. Mancloud might be going down. They find 1 kill. Kiwi getting burned down by Xmithie. Exhaust goes out to Xmithie. They're trying to find the kill, but Toy headbutts him into the wall. 2 for 1 on that fight. Everyone is disengaged.
The pincer pays off right there. They're rewarded. They kill the PewDiePie and the Crumbs, the 2 who were split pushing, and Kiwi Kid also barely got out of that one. Good thing he has Slice and Dice.
The Vulcan nerve pinch there worked so well for them, dropping down 2-for-1 against Dignitas. But even though they lost 2 members on the map, Dig still looks to be the one that's confident. They're pushing up minion waves.
They definitely still have the upper hand in gold and in kills. So when you're in the game, you can see, oh, okay, we're still up a kill, and they feel like they have more power because they also were rewarded with the previous dragon. So they can just use these pink wards that they've placed so early around dragon to know that it's still clear out now, and there's just they're just going to rush it, it looks like. Crumb's coming down very early. They've got 4 people. They feel like they can do it without Kiwi Kid even there.
They do have Cutie Pie at least, and there comes the damage up. A Spinning Axe is coming across. Down to half health. Smithy is around, but he's like, he flinches right here. Does have Smite, does not have Ghost, but Toy's going to buy enough time. Blue team has slain the dragon. Will Vulcan go in? Looks like they won't. Another dragon goes to Dignitas.
I always compare Patoy to this beefy bodyguard, and he really shows it right there. Just shoving anyone back away from his team, even though they had only 4 people there, and they were turtled up inside of that dragon pit that could be dangerous for them. He just completely shuts out the rest of Vulcan, and they don't attack Dignitas.
Don't indeed. So Dignitas still the ones in control, and Cutie Pie just by himself in the mid lane, and no one wants to even touch him here. So where does Vulcan find the confidence? Do they just get another weird flank, or can they actually force a good engaged bolts?
Yeah, so the teleport option is unfortunately going to be down for quite a while here for Vulcan. It's a long cooldown on that summoner spell. They're still going to have to wait another minute and 30 seconds, so they won't get some interesting pinches happen. But if they still can stack up a team fight with everyone there, the duration of their CC stacking will work wonders for them. And it's only going to get better for them as time goes on, as long as they don't fall further and further behind, because the power of Tristana just... Oh, we have a ulti attempt steal from Cutie Pie. Very close right there, but it is going to be blue buff Cassio.
Yeah. Right, so she will have that. The last one, of course, was taken away by Dignitas. And now ManCloud can fight for reals. The Rylays is done. Tear of the Goddess, of course, still there. Has had the Sork shoes for a while. So now that we've kind of got into this game, we've started to see builds mature. Are there any things you can see here that are a little bit interesting?
A red buff invade is pretty interesting because Scar is coming to join it, but Mandatory Cloud's still farming. So if they do have an extended fight, this will be in favor of Dignitas.
There we go. The crescendo comes across. Crumb's taking a bunch of payment. He has made his way out of this one. No Psycho Sid goes in. Zuna finds a kill. They're going to keep on moving forward. Cutie Pie across the wall. Zuna finds it. He's going to keep moving forward. Finds damage on the Kiwi Kid. Goomba stomps in again. Exhausted the Kiwi. Kraken's ult does so much damage, though. Can they chase this one down? Skara now in the middle of the enemy team. Xfinity trying to chase him out as well. ManCloud is nearby. Skara forced to flash 2 for 0. Vulcan wins the fight, actually.
So the numbers are in the favor of Dignitas, because Scar got there a little bit quicker than Mandatory Cloud, but there was way too much burst right there. They already had gotten a kill, taking that one down. Great props to Vulcan right there, completely turning the tables. They don't care if they're down in numbers. They turn that one in their favor, and you can see the power of the ultis there. Psycho Sid able to lock that one up, and then a good crescendo as well. Zuna, he flashed over the Baron pit wall to get the reset on his jump to be able to jump back up over the wall. Yeah. So some nice do-si-do there from him as well.
Okay, so now that we've got another breather here, a team fight happened. Item builds, walk me through anything special going on with these guys.
There's something here that you really want to point out. You can point that out yourself if you want to. I mean, we've got Tristana with Infinity. That's pretty normal. Nothing here on Vulcan's side is standing out to me. So
not so much unique, but just sort of power spiked with items.
Dignitas side here. What?
I didn't mean to do that leading.
We've got it. Okay, well, we've got a death cap on Scar here, so that's going to be a lot of burst damage for them. It's going to be the distortion boots on Cutie Pie. Probably what you're looking here for.
ManCloud, though, putting out some damage. Look at the kill right there onto Crumb. Solos him out with the Riley slow.
Leading me on an Easter egg chunk.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
I mean, distortion boots. That's definitely a new one for the AD carry. But I guess he feels like he needs his flash up a lot more since Zuna's hopping all over the place. Cutie Pie feels like he needs to be able to jump quicker as well.
Yeah, at least we'll see what that ends up being. The flash still halfway down on cooldown. Cutie Pie and Scar have grouped up. We'll see what ends up happening here. The ult comes across from Draven. He spots out Baron and says, okay, no one's going for that. Just kidding. I'll just put that on cooldown myself. Vulcan now in a little bit of a better spot. Still 3,000 gold down, though. They're down a turret. They're down 2 dragons. The dragon's coming up in 2 minutes. Starting to clear Baron. This is also interesting.
So for everyone wondering out there too, distortion boots don't reduce the cooldown of cleanse. That's purely for reducing flash cooldown right there. If you're thinking about picking those up on your AD carry.
Yeah. Teleport, flash, and ghost, the 3 that it does affect. Now, Skara, heavy burst on him, of course. Death Cap rushed right away. Sword Shoes, he's going to be all kinds of painful. Frankly, we mentioned the Rileys before, but he's still building himself up. He's trying to look at the damage stats to figure out who's going to be super menacing. But right now, maybe it's even the wards I think that are most menacing. It's Vision at this point in the game, I think.
Well, the place where the next team fight occurs is also going to be really, really big. If it is, again, in a jungle corridor like that, we can see how devastating the AoE from Vulcan is. The AoE on Malphite's ultimate is not that big, so if everyone's grouped up, then it just gets that much more potent, and it makes for an easy follow-up crescendo from Bloodwater. And then Mandatory Cloud's ultimate there on Cassiopeia, just amazing, especially at short range. So indeed, the Vision will be key to this game as we see an Oracles coming out on Patoy, doing his part to clear out the wards from Vulcan and not allowing Dignitas to be forced into a dark situation.
Okay, so Dignitas grouped up around Baron. Vulcan nearby as well. Crumbs right in the middle of a brush that no one can see. Bloodwater's now starting to sweep with that Oracle's Elixir. Moving over to very, very tentatively. They don't want to get caught out, of course. Both these teams very explosive when they get into battle. Now the word comes down. Bloodwater doesn't spot it.
This so-called banana bush really is just the bane of supports. There's so many angles that you can hide a ward in and not be able to see it from the top side of the banana bushes that a lot of people do end up walking past them. Vulcan here just going to pick up a quick and easy dragon because after they've showed their power in that last invade to Dignitas a little bit more wary right now running into team fights. And since they don't have vision on, oh my gosh, Cutie Pie getting
a lot of damage into Cutie Pie, but Scar just completely evaporates Zuna, and now Smithy in a bad spot as well. Pops his ult, but can he get out from this one? Will he have enough help from the team? Here comes Patoy. Smithy running to the right-hand side, and there's a flash from Cutie Pie. Doesn't quite get enough damage, though. Smithy actually lives through that, but still there was no Zuna. And there could be a lot of pressure here coming in from Dignitas. They're moving over toward Baron Nashor.
A little bit too much machismo there on Zuna, using his rocket jump to get in on Cutie Pie. Scar is right next to him. He says, hey, you can't just explode my AD carry like that. You're going to pay for that one with your life. And now they're going on Baron inside this small Baron pit. It's actually really good for Vulcan's AoE CC.
Gonna get the damage though. Miasma comes down. They put down some poison. Baron's still losing health, down to only 4,400 right now. ManCloud still milling about. Can they find what they need? There's the ult in from Psycho Sid. Put some damage to the Cutie Pie. They get the crescendo as well. Crumbs being disruptive. Can they get the pain? They get one. ManCloud gets a nice stun. Psycho Sid still trying to chase down Cutie Pie. Cutie Pie gets the kill on the Bloodwater, but Psycho Sid fires back. Smithy in the mix, getting chased down. Patoy headbutts him almost to safety, but does pick up that kill. Nice Psycho Sid trying to run. Sunfire Cape ticking down. Can he get the damage on the Scar? He just might. The knockup. Zuna gets one. Can he keep chasing down? Jumps forward, finds Kiwi Kid. Kiwi Kid lands a stun. Psycho Sid pushing down onto Patoy, but look at that. Kiwi Kid gets away from the Zuna, and it's Patoy now in a battle with Sid. Can Sid get the slowdown? He does. Still chasing down. Patoy launches the knockup into the air. Still kind of rough. No, Zuna will pick up that kill. 12-10. Vulcan wins that fight 4-4 if you count Zuna dying before.
Yeah, that was definitely before that team fight, and Zuna came in a little bit late to that one, but he was able to clean it up, so that was good. They were able to delay it long enough. It could have been a lot better for Vulcan, definitely, because they used the Psycho Sid ultimate only on Cutie Pie, and then Crescendo also only on Cutie Pie. So they had AoE CC, but it was only really affecting one member of Dignitas. That is really the most important member that you want to get it on, but if you can get the rest of the team, then it would have been a much more decisive win.
So I have a question for you on threats then. So thinking back about the CLG versus Vulcan game, they said, you know, we started using our ultimates on Rise more, on putting down ManCloud and getting rid of him as a bigger threat. On Dignitas here, I see Scar building full glass cannon, and I'm a Cutie Pie on Draven of all champions. So they have two glass threats here, basically. How do you target select here as Vulcan now?
Well, you definitely want to have at least the Malphite ultimate on Draven every single time. That's just fine for Psycho Sid. It's okay if he only gets Draven with that because he has to get that attack speed debuff on him after the knockup. Now, you want to at least get Scar in something else, though, because, like you said, he's built full glass cannon, and his damage is huge, and it's AoE. So that can really just mess your entire team's game plan up here as they're going to go around Baron again. They like fighting in this topside river over here. The other part of focusing Scar is that Scar's ultimate does a huge part in disrupting the cohesive chaining here of Vulcan's abilities.
Okay, so as we look around the map, look what Vulcan are doing, though. They've got Psycho Sid split pushing at the bottom. He had Summoner Teleport, but not a lot of word coverage. He'll back off there as Kiwi Kid will be sent to go clean that up for themselves. Vulcan have re-aggressed now down towards Baron. Two members of Dignitas are on the bottom half of the map, and they've got Oracle's control here, putting wards down into Dignitas' jungle. And look at that. Psycho Sid, he's back to the bottom lane as Zuna rejoins his team.
And the thing is, Psycho Sid also got distortion boots after PewDiePie picked them up, but he's got two summoners that benefit from that. That's going to help out the teleport and the flash. Now in the middle, we do have some more, a little bit.
Crumbs got aggressive. I got scared.
Okay, yeah.
He pressed Q. I was like, oh, he pressed the button. Oh my God. Continue, Jason.
I'm not.
EU viewers will get it. Don't worry. Vulcan up here. Do you want the story about that?
Okay, give it to me.
So he had tried to analyze a point 5 times, and every time a battle happened. And so he would get 3 words in, and he'd be like, "Ah, fight!" And then he'd start continuing, "Ah, fight!" over and over again.
Well, a battle didn't happen though. You just
he pressed Q. I got excited. I'm sorry. Anyway, Dignitas.
Anyway, Psycho Sid is still split pushing down at that bottom, and since he has picked up his distortion boots, he's at only 203 seconds on that. It's comparable to having a Shen split pushing because he's gone with that Sunfire cape and he can immediately clear these waves. There's a lot of pressure on Dignitas to actually act now. They can't just wait around in the jungle.
They can't indeed, but they're actually running top of a ward, so Dignitas getting spotted out, putting out a ward of their own. ManCloud looking a little bit frisky here, and of course they still have Psycho Sid pushing at the bottom. Another ward goes down. Dignitas have swept out the vision for the most part here. This could be nice for them. A giant minion wave at the top, and Dignitas are now starting to aggro this out. Scar trying to pull some attention over. Another ward comes across. Baron is losing health. Look at it now. At about 3/4 HP. When will Vulcan come in for this one? More poke coming from Bloodwater. More from McSmithy. Scar knocks them back. That ult is now not available for this fight. Will they come into this one? Do they even have wards to put down to bring him in? There is a ward. Baron now down to 4,600. Sid has shown up here. Will they go in? Krebs gets a double knockup. One's going to go down. Kiwi Kid's going to be the next one to follow as well. Tries to jump back, but they will not. A minion kills the turret at the bottom half of the map, and they're going to keep on fighting. A nice knockup from Patoy. Smithy might just fall down. He walks back. They get the CC. They find Scara. Patoy, PewDiePie, the only ones left alive. Vulcan turned back. They could get Baron.
Perfectly played there by Vulcan. They delayed Dignitas long enough that they were taking damage from Baron the whole time, plus Psycho Sid got a free turret down bottom, pushing that as long as he could. They finally come in, the AoE CC's paying off, allowing them to chase as well. Nobody goes down, and they're going for this Baron. PewDiePie in the only position to steal, but he's going to be a little bit too late, even though the smite though does go off early.
Presses the E button, a little bit of a knockback. PewDiePie is actually, he's still trying to challenge a little bit, which I like, and said, "Are you sure you're not in Baron Pit?" He says, "Okay, fine, I'll leave you alone." I like how he face-checked Fog of War, by the way.
Gonna check that one out. Investigator PewDiePie doing his best, but that was a huge blow to Dignitas.
Yeah, that did seem to be very, very good for Vulcan now. The entire game really had been in Dignitas' favor, I think. And then now we look at this, and we've got a 2,500 lead for Vulcan. I mean, today has been, as much as Wednesday, really the day of upsets, and we're looking at another one here for Vulcan.
Just comparing the graphs here of the power of the AD carries, Draven starts out really high, and you can imagine it slowly sloping down as the game goes on, whereas Triss starts out low and just spikes up extremely quickly. So this is perfect for Vulcan right here. We already have the last Whisper completed on Zuna as well, so he is going to be able to take down that Renekton much, much quicker.
There we go. We can see, though, that the Dragon's going to be taken pretty much for free right here. Smithy not even needing to smite. Wasn't even up. Risked the steal and said, "No, we got this. No big deal. I have auto attacks." And they grabbed it. Psycho Sid, though, again, you mentioned the distortion boots, the lower cooldowns on the teleport and flash. They're already 2/3 of the way back up, and he's pushing the top lane.
Vulcan don't have to split push anymore. They don't have a teleport available, and they've got what they need to tower dive. An extremely armor-heavy Malphite is perfect because that's the one who's going to be initiating. It's fine if he gets that turret on him in the beginning. They've got Zuna in his sweet spot with the combo of the Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer Last Whisper, so he's going to be melting from that back line. Plus, everyone's got the Baron buff, so this turret is going to go down extremely quickly. They're just going to give this one up, actually.
Looks to be the case right here. That turret is going to go down. No one stopping that, indeed. Here's Vulcan shoving the mid lane down to the inhibitor, basically. Dignitas trying to regroup themselves. Let's see where they go. There's a ward across the wall there. Patoy's going to spot that out. Blue buff being stolen away, so Mandatory Cloud really wants revengeance here for what happened before, and he's going to get it. Scar now without Golem buff, without CDR, without mana regen. He's still going for more damage, though. Scar's picked up a Cage's lucky pick.
Maybe this is exactly what they need to turn around the fight. Scar rubbing his lucky rabbit's foot there. Nope, turret's going down anyway. No,
apparently rabbits just do not work. I mean, you've got Zuna who's already going to bunny hop around this map. Thinks that the rabbits are actually in Vulcan's favor here. Vulcan move down, up from the top. They're going to leave that spot, and now they're playing Dignitas style. They're pushing a whole bunch of lanes over and over again and trying to find a crack in the armor.
Yeah, Dignitas really have to be scared of the turret dive. Like I said, Malphite great at starting that one up. And they showed in the last team fight that they do not overlap their CCs. They did a good job so far with spacing out Crescendo from the ultimate from Mandatory Cloud as well. And now that the teleport's back up, you can see Psycho Sid making a long trek through that jungle all the way to the bottom lane.
Indeed he is, and of course the flash TP up. He'll enjoy that quite a bit. Zuna takes a barrel to the back of the head. It's going to hurt him a little bit. Gonna want some life steal to regen that back up. So let's take a look here. We're at this sort of end game team fight phase. We've seen Vulcan take them now repeatedly in a row in team fight victories. What do Dignitas need to do differently to actually start winning team fights here?
They actually have to hard initiate. I mean, if they just wait it out, then they're continually going to be losing due to the teleport advantage on Malphite. So they need Scar to just initiate with his barrel. Hopefully, he can ult Zuna into them and then immediately take out the main threat and destroy that Tristana. But it's really going to be a lot on the explosive cast from Scarra to get a really good bounce on someone from Vulcan before this turret goes down, but it's going to be too late.
They're going to put a lot of damage down onto that one at the same time while Psycho Sid split pushes the bottom. These turrets are just taking so much pressure. And will Dignitas
they have to go. You have to initiate if you're Dignitas right now.
They're simply not.
They're just slowly losing their inhibitor turrets.
They are slowly losing their inhibitor turrets as a on-fire piece of rock. You'd think he'd melt at some point. He's basically a volcano right now.
Oh, and there they go. They got the first inhibitor turret. They back right out. And the second, shortly falling right after.
There we go. So Dignitas now 2 exposed inhibitors. Vulcan will have the opportunity to go move in on stuff. He's smart picking someone's missing. Kiwi wants to go in on this fight. There's the flash forward. Zuna trying to get away. Can Kiwi find a stun? Here comes the TP in from Malphite. Mancloud very, very low. Pops his shield. Can he get a knockback? Can he get a stun? Mancloud has fallen down. 1 for 1 though. They fire back. There's a Crescendo. Looking for Cutie Pie. Psycho Sid. Zuna chasing that one down. Zuna in the middle of Dignitas' team, but he's not been going down. Patoy with a beautiful knockup, but he's been taken out. Jumps back. Zuna's still alive. Looking for crumbs now. Scar and Cutie Pie both alive. Cutie Pie does not find any damage to deal. Will Zuna rocket jump into the enemy team? Scar looking for a barrel, doesn't quite land it. 2 for 1 though. Vulcan wins that fight indeed.
Talked about choosing which threat to go after there. Dignitas chose to go on Mandatory Cloud, but he actually has the shield from Seraph's Embrace, adding a little bit more tankiness, and since he did go Rylai's, there's health on that. They just let Zuna fire away from the back line there. And even though Zuna trying to chase down people got into the mix of both bruisers, he didn't end up falling.
He did not indeed. So credit to Zuna for surviving overall in that battle. He is now 8-1-5, by the way. We talked about this early on. You did this at least specifically, where Vulcan kind of rallied behind Zuna a bit and tried to get him running. And right now he is running as fast as possible, sprinting even in this game, because he's got a heck of a lot of kills, a lot of items, a lot of gold.
This is why Vulcan picked Tristana every time it's available for them. Zuna just really, if they don't lose early and they can keep it even, or excuse me, if they can even keep it close there, then they come out just because of the scaling nature, the extra range and attack speed boost from that rapid fire on her. He's got a Bloodthirster straight up bought after that last buy on top of the Trinity that he already had.
Oh man, that is good for him, and you can just see him melting jungle camps right now. That is what most of Dignitas' champions will look like, by the way, if Zuna gets uninterrupted damage on them. He is a scary beast right here. QtPie trying to reach that mark. You can see his item build, just a BF sword to the Infinity Edge that Zuna had already completed. But one thing that I like to see, though, because you see so many different builds on mages, is both these mage guys have gone, I don't want to say glass cannon because you've got Riley's and Seraph's shield, but like both Death Cap, both Sork Shoes, both getting a lot of AP.
Yeah, now Mentor Cloud also picking up some magic resist on the last one. Looks like he might be going for the Abyssal Scepter to go with his Riley's Crystal Scepter. One scepter in each hand.
Nice. And of course the boots for her tail.
There you go.
I can just imagine her trying to like balance that all out. Actually, Seraph's embraces a staff as well. He's about to have 3 and a hat on his head.
The Oracles here done some good work for Vulcan. They continue to just clear out the close wards and bait inside the lip of this Baron wall. But if they group up like that, Skara can knock people out. QtPie doing a good job there. He's fed up of waiting. He hates that Baron dance. He just wants to go shove a lane. And they're actually going to try for a base race here. Zuna just heading down straight to that inhibitor. Tristan is such a good late game building destroyer here. Maybe
they're going
Demolition
for it.
Man is going to happen. It looks like we're going to go for the base race.
They are. Okay, the red turret has gone down. And here we go. Dignitas are looking to kill off the inhibitor. This is going to be going. The turrets are gone on both sides. And here we go. Onto the nexus for both sides. Crumbs hitting onto this first nexus turret. Down to half health, but the other side is already falling. Look at it down to the bottom of the screen. The turret's almost equal. They're both going to be now onto the nexus. Who's going to get it first? You can see the health bars dropping down. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Vulcan taking down the nexus.
So close right there. Perfect time to call for a base race because Dignitas were really far behind. They knew they weren't going to win any more team fights. A really risky, gutsy call that almost paid off. They ended up only losing that by 1 second.
The health on the Nexus so incredibly, incredibly low. Below half health, I gotta say. Oh, she's a nail biter right there. And it just all came out in the last 10 seconds.
I love the call, though. That was an amazing way to finish the game. They didn't want to go out in a slow, staggered team fight there. QtPie probably the one making that. He was the first up to that middle turret, and he said, let's just go for this one. We can try our best, and they got so very close. Congratulations to Vulcan. Another well-deserved win, and showing, again, the late game power of a Tristana.
Tristana just absolutely those buildings. Great job by them to pick all those up. So Vulcan have guaranteed themselves a top 6 finish. They will be in the playoffs. Now, whether they fight the 3rd place or the 4th place CLG, we'll have to see how the rest of the games pan out. But they've guaranteed themselves that little extra bit of security.
That feels so good.
Oh, it does. It does.
Nice little security blanket there. They can keep them cozy.
Actually, that also does guarantee that Dignitas now will finish 3rd. So we know 3rd and 4th now. Dignitas in 3rd, CLG in 4th. Vulcan's going to have to figure out which one they're going to fight if they get 5th or 6th. We're going to find out what that is later on in the day. Coming up next, though, we're going to talk to Vulcan Zuna about their crazy base race victory. Then GGU looks to guarantee their place in the postseason when they take on Counterlogic Gaming. We'll be right back.